Welcome, YouTube land. My name is Zachimus Prime, aka Zachimus Prime, and I'm here to show you something that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. I got this through titanonetoys, because titanonetoys is one of the best places on the internet you can go to get stuff. This is something that I've been highly anticipating forever. When I first saw teases for this like more than a year ago, I was just like, ah. Anyhow, I know it's in the thumbnail, so I'm not going to leave you hanging any longer. Today, I'm revealing the Galaxy Meteor, the Maketoys Galaxy Meteor. So, I just want to put a little bit of background in this. When I was a young man, my first real job was at a print shop here in town, and I was their graphics designer, and I did a lot of great stuff back then. But that was back in 2005, and the world was a different place back then. But that was my first real job, and I had a steady paycheck, you know, that was steady and sizable. And Galaxy Force or Transformers Cybertron, that was what was out. I mean, it was coming out in Japan at that time, and I was really interested in it. It later started coming out in America, and I was still interested in it. But I had at one point collected most everything from that line. And I had a lot of gems that I have not been able to find since then. One of them being is I had, they came out with the Voyager class Starscream in the Japanese line, but in the American line we never got it. We got this giant, like, upsized KO Supreme class Starscream instead. But I mean, I was big into that show. I had all sorts of, oh man, I bought it all. Like, I literally had like almost the entire toy line, and then like a great fool, I sold basically everything. But that was years ago, and neither here nor there, whatnot. But not only for that fact, but also because I really liked the animation, I really liked the story, I really liked the characterization, I really liked, like, in many ways, Galaxy Force is my favorite Transformers show to this day. Transformers Prime is a very strong contender for it, but the closest thing I have to nostalgia, because I mean, I remember watching G2. I'm just young enough that I missed out on the G1 days directly, but I'd come home from school and I'd watch the Transformers during its Generation 2 run, where it was basically the same show, but they, you know, threw in different bumpers and whatnot. And I had a couple G1 toys and a lot of G2 toys and whatnot. But like, when it comes to like real nostalgia, like, this is the show that I feel it for, because this is the first show that I really got into, and that I really identified with it as being my show. And Starscream was one of my favorite characters from that show. In fact, this show really kind of solidified into Starscream being one of my favorite Decepticon characters. But yes, when Maketoys says that they were coming out with this figure, I was like, oh my god, just like, stop everything, take all of my money, you know, I want this so bad. And then I was finally able to get it, and it's amazing. Anyhow, so let's get down into it. So his jet mode is this kind of cool, like, triangular looking thing. I think it's loosely based off of the design of the like the Cybertronian jet modes that we saw in the first episode of Transformers G1. I believe that Don Figueira seems to believe that it's based off of his design for the War Within Starscream. I don't know that I see that as clearly, but yeah, I suppose I can see some of that. I don't know. But this is Maketoys' like masterpiece Galaxy Force Starscream, and it is really, really a masterpiece. Like if you look at it, if you were to compare like the sculpt of this figure with the show itself, like it is super accurate. Not perfect. There are a couple differences, most notably the way these forearm go, but like it's just a really, really great thing. So I don't have much of my Galaxy Force stuff anymore, but a friend of mine did loan me a couple figures. So this is a repaint. In America we got two different repaints of the Voyager sized Starscream. One of them was a Durs repaint, one of them was a thrust repaint. This is the thrust repaint. Yeah. And so this is how much technology has progressed in the past 12 years. And you can see that the shape and the sculpt is actually, I mean, this is really true to the original. And so you kind of look at it to a non-discerning eye, you'd be like, oh yeah, well they just look the same. Well, they're supposed to look the same. It's a masterpiece figure. It's supposed to look like the original. But more importantly, like, it's a lot differently, and it's so gorgeous. Looking at it from the underside, you can see like all the same things are in all the same places. There are of course some big differences. Like you notice you can see hands in this one, and you can't really see them in this one because they're all hidden up behind all of this really cool, like, you know, thrusters and vent details back here, you know. And that's super cool to me, the way they got that just all hidden up. But it's a masterpiece style figure, so of course it's not going to be all taken care of properly. But oh man, this he does have the visible head syndrome, but that is true to the original design. That's how it was in the show. That's how it was on the toy. They did make this so that it recesses down so that it's not as visible as this guy here, where his head actually sticks out. So, but yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, he does have little landing gears on them. They do have little wheels on them that roll. I mean, of course this one has got them as well. He does come with a gun. For some reason, I don't remember him having a gun in the show. I haven't seen it in a couple years though, so I may have to watch it again. That sounds like a good reason to watch it again to find out. He just kind of split his feet, stick it in here, and he can store it in his vehicle mode. And it does have another little wheel on it as well. So I mean, it'll roll if you really need it to, but really what this guy needs is a flight stand, you know, a little flight stand to just like have it like this and just like whoosh. Oh man, that would look so great. But let's get him transformed up. So the transformation is a lot the same as the original in that, you know, these are the feet, these are the legs, these are the shoulders, those are the arms, etc., etc. But there's a lot that is different that makes this figure so much better. And so let's get down to it. First of all, let's take these and let's rotate them out of the way. This is, by the way, something that no version of the Starscream has done before, which is kind of cool. We're gonna lift this part up, and we're going to separate this down like that. Now here's the front of the thigh. The screw holes are on the back of the thigh, so we'll take this around and extend it. Pull that out, turn it around, extend it. Right here, if you pull on this, you can see these little divots right here. This will turn and snap into place in the right place. Then we can flip out his heel. Come on, don't do this to me. flip out his heel, flip in this nose cone toe, heel, nose cone. And then there's this little button right here. It's so like sneakily hidden into the leg, and you push that, and then this just goes thunk. And it covers up all of this hollowness, and it's so cool. Here we go again. Thunk. It's so awesome. That's a really cool feature there. Now we're going to take these parts here, we're going to fold them out. This is going to fill in the sides of his body. Then we're going to take these and we're going to fold those in. That's going to make it so that we can fold them in half and not shatter this thing. While we're down here, we're going to take and we're going to push on this tab, push out his head all the way. So as we bring this down, we're going to untab this part here. Oh, let's fold in the landing gears. We're going to untab this part. We're going to bring it down, and these slots, it's really dark on dark on dark. These slots are going to fit into these little tabs right here. Oh, he's starting to look like Starscream. We're going to take this, we're going to pull these apart. This is going to come untabbed from there. And then this is going to slide around and kind of rotate as it does so. And then you're going to flip out his hand, close this part up, and then snap this into place. I may have left the screen just a little bit, so let's do it again. Because he's got two arms, we might as well do it again. So we're going to separate this, untab this, pull it around. Maybe need to rotate it a little bit as we go. Flip out his hand, close his arm, make sure that tabs into place. Bring these back up, and now we're going to rotate his arms down. This is kind of, at first I said stupid tight, then I said scary tight. I am currently going with a less psychologically infused term, and just saying that it is needlessly tight. But yeah, there he is. Oh wait, let's fold these down. This is the little jet engines go down, thrusters. And then this separates and folds down behind him. And there he is in his robot mode. And my God, what a beautiful figure this is. Like, what an absolutely beautiful figure this is. This guy is, by the way, just covered in paint apps. I mean, he's got, you know, paint apps here and blue here. He's got blue on top of the red, and then he's got gray on top of that. Red here. This is red plastic, but that's yellow paint apps with the like background behind that painted gray, like the gunmetal gray. I think this might be molded in gray. Painted red there, that stripe. Red paint. Red paint. This piece right here is red plastic. Blue paint, gunmetal, red. There's blue here, red. This is red is a paint app. This gray here is all a paint app. The yellow and the blue on that. This is funny that they put the blue paint app on what is blue paint. Wait. Oh no. The gray is gray plastic. Yellow is a paint app. Blue is a paint app. This cockpit, they painted silver on the inside of his cockpit, but molded it in purple, so it's got this like amazing like metallic sheen. His face sculpt is phenomenal. Just scary accurate to the to the original show. He's got little tiny paint apps right here. Just beautiful. going around to the back, like everything like closes up really well. It's fantastic. This figure is just gorgeous. Now, normally I would try and do a transformation like this off screen, but because this figure takes like 2 seconds to transform, so I'm just going to do it right here. So we're going to do that. We're going to yank on his legs, open them up at the bottom. I remember this being easier 10 years ago. Pull those down. Oh, come on, pull those down. Don't make a liar out of me. You're fighting me because you think that I don't like you anymore, but I do. I think you're awesome. I wish I still had it. But yeah. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Fold, pull the arms out, bam. Fold and separate, fold this down. So yeah, there's the original one. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the original one, it's a great figure, you know? It looks nice, it feels nice, it's a nice figure. But it just doesn't rival this, you know? You can see that they have just a lot of similar sculpting on them, you know, like a lot of the finer details, you know, like there's this little box with these horizontal lines on it, you know, that comes across. And like a lot of the little surface details, you know, the little inlets and insets and stuff like that, like they're all there, you know. I mean, this figure was very true to the original, you know, to the on-screen representation of Starscream. And so like it's pretty accurate to begin with, but when you compare it to this thing, it's just this is a whole nother ballpark. This guy did have a gimmick in the Cybertron line, in the Cybertron Galaxy Force line. Every figure came with a little force chip, and you'd plug that into, there'd be a slot on the back of it. You'd plug it in and it would do something. This one makes these little, oh, what did he call them? Vortex blades? Yeah, that's what it was. The vortex blades come out, and they're just spring-loaded. They pop out of his arms. The Maketoys Galaxy Meteor also has the vortex blades. You just kind of, it's this button right here. You kind of support it from the back, and you push onto it, and they flip out. He does come with a force chip. Let me pull this out of my sandwich baggie. He does come with a force chip. It looks very much like the original. Except no copyrighted insignia, of course. And it plugs into the same place. It doesn't do anything, but it's cool to have, and it's cool to have in there. But yeah, so he's got that. His gun. One of the things about his gun that I thought was really kind of interesting when I was trying to plug it in is, if you notice, let me focus, grasshopper. There's like this weird like dovetail peg here, so you can't simply like peg it into this. It's not a flat-sided slot like a lot of Masterpiece style figures are. Like you have to like, it's a little bit more difficult to plug in. But that being said, it's a lot more secure once it's in. But he holds it, and he holds it quite nicely. I don't know why he needs a gun, because he's got guns like built into his arms, like his null rays or whatever they're called in this show particularly. But yeah, you know, if you wanted to have a gun and shoot stuff, like, he can do that. I don't remember this being in the show, and I don't remember this being part of his canon or lore, so I have no problem with just kind of sticking it to the side. But yeah, so there he is. While we've got this guy here, we'll do some size comparison. Focus grasshopper, size comparison, Voyager class figure. This is a masterpiece scale figure. Oh, you know what? I should have grabbed my masterpiece Starscream. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So, yeah, I had to run and grab my Starscream, who's been kind of like sitting in a pile ever since I reviewed and subsequently fell in love with the Maketoys Howling Meteor. So let's get this guy out of the way for a second. Bring in the masterpiece MP11 Starscream. You'll see that Galaxy Force Starscream is just a bit taller than him. Though, I mean, of course, a completely different aesthetic. Oh man, but still, like, I love this figure so much more. Like, it's so much more posable and so much more character in it, and like, in some ways, now granted, in some ways, like, the MP11 is an upgrade of the MP03, which was, you know, the second masterpiece ever made, and really from the infancy of the masterpiece years. And so, like, I mean, we can forgive this figure for being out of date, for not being as, you know, advanced as a figure that, you know, I mean, this is more or less like a 10 or 11-year-old figure. 'Cause I remember the original prototypes for the MP03 Starscream came out at the same time I was getting into Galaxy Force. So, I mean, this figure is as old as this figure, you know, and so, like, we can forgive this figure for not being as good as that one, but just it's a good scale. This Galaxy Meteor figure. It's a good scale. It's a good design. Our last scale is the oversized KO I mentioned. Got him right here. Yeah. And of course, I mean, Galaxy Meteor is not a small figure by any stretch of the imagination. Doesn't really compare to like a big Supreme class figure. He's got his crown because herpaderp, I'm the best. Yup. But by and large, this figure is the exact same sculpt and design of the smaller Voyager class. The only difference is being he has these guns will move out, and he has, where did that cyber key go? Oh, it's right here it's right here. Instead of having one mechanism on the back behind the head, he's got a separate mechanism for each weapon in the little blasters themselves. You can even see where they scaled this up. Of course, it makes his 5mm peg hole much bigger than 5mm. So they scaled it up and then designed a part to go inside there to bring that back down to 5mm. Like, they literally just scaled up the Voyager class mold. The other design difference is, instead of having like this guy here has got part of the nose cone is built into the feet, and same with this guy here, part of the nose cone is built into the feet. On this guy, the nose cone actually is a separate part that flips out like that. Wow, geez, Starscream, put that thing away. Wow. Indecent. Lewd. Anyhow, let's quickly go through the transformation here, because I looked at my time and I'm running short on time, which also means that my video is running a bit long. His head is on a really nice ball joint. It goes up and down a lot. It will tilt side to side a lot. It will go all the way around a lot. It'll do all the stuff, but do it a lot. His shoulder joints are, like I mentioned, they are needlessly tight. There's no real reason for them to be this tight, but they are. Let me see if I can get it to go all the way around. Yeah, needlessly tight. But I mean, for some people, if you're thinking about this and you're thinking, gosh, you know, how's this going to look in a couple years, it's probably still going to be like stupid tight. His shoulder joint will move in and out, but you'll see that's just this like shoulder armor part here. His shoulder joint is down here. So this is connected up here and this is connected down here. This is a joint probably needed some lithium grease. Really squeaky. He's got a bicep swivel here. He's got an elbow joint that goes just goes beautifully. It's a single joint, but it bends like a lot. I forgot to mention his wing binders. His wing binders has got a double joint in here. This is a clicky joint. This is a clicky joint. And then this is on kind of a soft detent. And then this wing has got a little flappy part that flaps. His let's get his arms out of the way for the next part. By the way, he has an ab crunch with like cool like piston details in the back. Like, how cool is that? He has a waist rotation. They put this cut in behind the cockpit to make that waist rotation work. If you put it too much, it's gonna smack into these guns. It's also gonna smack into this hip section, this waist section here. And also it's just gonna look a bit weird because it's all like disconnected looking and whatnot. His guns go up all the way. There are a few times in the shows. I should add on to the end of this video. There's this great video where Starscream like single-handedly fights like the entire Autobot team, and just kind of like, he takes a lot of damage, but he kind of spanks everybody to finally get what it is that he wants. His legs will go all the way out on a clicky joint as well. He's got thigh swivel on the clicky joint. His knees will go like, it'll just fold right all the way up. And there's this panel right here is on the spring. It's on several different springs actually. But yeah, it'll just fold all up, disappear, get out of the way. His ankle will go forwards a bit, depending on the pose you have it in. One click or so. It'll go back all the way. If you're looking for more forward postability, this is an old trick that I would do with the Voyager class Starscream, where you move his heel down and allows you to have more of a tilt there. And that'll work as well. And he's got really good ankle tilts there. But yeah, that's it for transformation. I think the last thing I need to talk about before I let you guys loose is he does come with some accessories. Let's get him up close so we can take a look at it. His accessories I've mentioned are this force chip here, this gun here, and then he comes with a couple of alternate faces. So let's get zoomed in on his face so we can see this pretty well. Whoa, camera, don't go crazy on me, man. His face sculpt, by the way, is really nice, and it's really painted well. So to change this out, we're going to pull on his helmet and drop it. Because, you know, if you don't drop it, how can you even say you've done it right? And then we're going to take and we're just going to pull straight off. There we go. And there's his face. This is first alternate face. No, I'm just kidding. That's not an alternate face. So the first one, he's got... so he's got this like sneer face where he's like... All right, make sure that's in all the way. And it's a good looking face sculpt, you know. If you're watching the show, you kind of need to have that for like all of his good sneering lines and all of his good sneering poses. One of the things that I like about this Starscream is that this is one of the few Starscreams who got what he wanted. Like, he definitely, you know, like, he schemed and he wanted to get powers and be stronger than everyone else, and he got that. He got that. Well, he also got his ass kicked in the end, but, you know, whatever. His last face is this kind of like a laughing, evil laugh, gloaty type face. And this one I'm not sure I like as much. He looks like he's got just like the littlest amount of duck face going on. And I don't know. I mean, I probably shouldn't say what my actual thoughts on this face are, because A, that would probably spawn some weird slash fan fictions, and B, it's probably not appropriate for YouTube. But I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of this face. For me, to be perfectly honest, like, I'm gonna primarily be keeping his standard face, and then from time to time, as I feel like it, I'll probably go to his smirk face. But this one just really, like, that's as good as I need right there. But anyhow, that is my review of the Maketoys Galaxy Meteor. I'm not sure. So I have been telling people up to this point that that the Generation Toy Op X is my favorite third party of the year. But this may take the cake. The sculpt, the detail, the paint apps, the design, the obvious like what the original source material means to me definitely factors into this. I don't know. Ask me again at the end of the year. I will possibly have come up with a decision by then. But right now, I'm not sure if I can say that this is my favorite or if the Op X is my favorite. By the way, throw me a comment if you want me to re-review my Op X. I did it. It was actually one of my first reviews before I had the whole setup, before I had any experience. And I know that my reviews still suck, but they like really sucked back then, and I would be more than happy to review it like for good. And part of my thing that I've been doing is I've been working to build more experience and build more get better at this, because I have things that I want to review that that I want to be able to do them justice. And so, and that will be coming up soon as well. Anyhow, everybody, you guys are great. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and just, you know, do what you can to give me that thumbs up. Help the channel out, help me out. It doesn't really get me anything at all except for just, you know, it gives me some more bragging rights, I guess. It's really dumb, but I do want to become better at this, and I like tips, and I would like to have a bigger channel with more views and whatnot. Anyhow, everybody, you're awesome, and be good to one another. See ya.